Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we are looking at playoff props here on a Monday night. Got a 9-game slate to choose from. We are going to take a look at this one. Got a couple other game videos as well for you on this big slate, so make sure to like and subscribe to that page. We also have thelines.com. That's where our great written content is for you guys. You can check out all the picks up there and use our odds finder tool to go ahead and make sure you're getting the best juice back on all these bets and player props you're making this season in the NBA. Nate, let's go ahead and jump into your first NBA player prop for tonight.
Yeah, we talked about the Bucks and the Pels, and we're going to talk about that in player props for sure. If we like the over, like some overs with some players, including Jrue Holiday, who's finally getting back to health here. He was out with a non-COVID illness for a while, also an ankle issue. But his last 6 when he's been active, 23 points per game, 8 assists, and hitting 3 threes at a 45% clip. So 18.5 points seems really low. You're getting plus odds for him to hit 3 threes as well against the Pels team that gives up the 4th most 3-point attempts and gives up the 2nd most makes to shooting guards this season. And Chris Middleton's out. And so his usage rate since last season goes up from 22% to 28.5% without Middleton, as you would expect. Efficiency is worse, but he's just asked to do more, and the efficiency might suffer a little bit. But this is a former team theory thing, of course. This is his 4th matchup with New Orleans since being traded. In the previous 3, getting 28 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. That includes a 40-point outburst in an overtime game in his first trip back to New Orleans in a game with no Chris Middleton or Giannis. So with both active, though, he still goes for 22, 9, and 5 against New Orleans last March. And, yeah, New Orleans, 121 defensive rating in their last 3 games. Granted, those were on the road, but they're looking a little bit vulnerable, and we like points to be happening in this game, so Jrue should get involved.
Yeah, I'm struggling to understand what the logic is behind his prop being at 18.5 points. Maybe because he was sick for a bit or something. I truly don't know. I mean, I understand Milwaukee's offense and it struggles on the road this season, but we gave you Nate gave you some pretty good explanations in that game video for why that is. And playing against his former team, playing without Chris Middleton, I feel like this should be at 21.5. So I'm pretty happy to go ahead and hit that one. That should be our favorite bet as well. Staying in this game because, like we said, we expect some points in that one. Zion over 25.5 points. You could throw the rebounds in there for 33.5 points in rebounds. So giving him about 8 boards that he would need to get or so, right? But, either way, last 5, he's been getting that 31.5 points. We hit him twice in that time frame because he was playing the Jazz, who are the worst rebounding team. Look ahead to another prop today and someone playing the Jazz. But last 5 overall, like I said, the beneficiary of 2 games against the worst rebounding team in the league. 31.5 a game, 8 boards, more than 8 boards a game on 30% usage during that time. He's a plus 77 on the floor. Obviously, we know he's actually the reason they lost one of those games is because he was not on the floor because he fouled out against the Jazz pretty early. Well, he got 3 fouls pretty early and had to sit a lot. But 10.5 free throw attempts because he's running that point guard, attacking from the top and getting all the way down to the rim and barreling into people and getting those free throws. So if he's getting 10.5 free throws, I really, really like the points. You can throw the boards on there. It's a little bit scarier because Brolo's playing, but he's played against this Milwaukee team with Brolo in there over the last time that they played. He still went for 34, 8, and the 6 assists. I love the assists as well, just because he's been getting at least 4 or 5 of those with Brandon Ingram off the floor. So Milwaukee on the road in their last, or at least in their last 3, 51 points in the paint that they're allowing, which is obviously bottom 5 in the league if it was over the course of the season. And they're allowing about 15 fast break points on the road as well, which is where we know New Orleans wants to get up and down, especially at home, scoring about 3 more fast break points on the road, are they? So feel good about points in this one. Feel good about Zion being obviously a huge reason for that. So getting 26 points feels like a really solid bet for tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the 4th time in the last 5 opportunities you've taken Zion to get 26 points, and it's hit every single time. And you probably would have taken it more if he wasn't playing on the weekend, and it would have hit it again because he had 35 against the Suns. It's just extremely reliable, and his prop has been around 26.5 until today. And again, I think they're just overvaluing the defenses for both these teams in terms of how they're going to impact this particular matchup. We talked about, Brook Lopez being a good rim projector. Well, Zion had 34, 8, and 6 the last time he played the Bucks with Brook playing a full slate of minutes. So it's not like he's going to shut him down. Sixers and Raptors, intriguing game for sure. Playoff rematch. Not going with any of the stars here, though. I mean, James Harden floundered against the Raptors defense, and I would be all over and under if OG Anunoby was playing, but we don't know about that. What I am doing is taking DeAnthony Melton over, and the 12.5 points is good. It's plus odds, but I mean, I think you take the whole package with him because he's playing 37 minutes per game right now. With Maxey and Milton out as well, only 19.5 PRA. In his last 5, he's averaging 17 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. That's obviously well over that. You just take his last 4 against Toronto, 2 of them with Memphis, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. So you're at 21 PRA, and that's in just 22 minutes per game. And now he's playing nearly the entire game. And unless this is a blowout, he's a really good rebounding guard, and Philly's a really bad rebounding team. And so the fact he's going to come in there crashing and do his part to get the peripheral stats. And Toronto, their defense has kind of fallen off a cliff without OG. That is a huge factor. In their last 7, they're allowing the 5th most points to shooting guards and the 5th most rebounds to point guards. Splice that however you want. I mean, Melton, is he the point guard or shooting guard when Harden's out there? It doesn't really matter. The point is he's the hustle guy, and Harden is the guy who's just going to run pick and rolls and take his step back threes and call it a day. But Melton is the guy who's going to try to fill up the whole stat sheet for you, probably get you double-digit points and some good peripheral stats as well.
Yeah, I mean, the peripheral stats are almost as high as the points. So however you want to slice it, I mean, that's why the points you get the even odds there get, plus 100, really, really nice for him to get 13, the way that he's been putting up stats, especially in the last 5, and Harden being back almost seems to help him, probably getting a few more minutes, playing with the second unit and then still being on the floor during crunch time. That's exactly what you want from a guy that you're picking up. When you get this low stat line for a guy that is at least going to be on the floor for those 36 and a half-ish minutes a game, go ahead and feel good about the value that you get on his prop line there. So let's finish things off with Jarrett Allen. He is at home. He is taking on the Utah Jazz. This is not the first time, as we said, that we are using this logic to go ahead and pick a player prop. The Jazz do not rebound, and that's because their 2 big men are Lauri Markkanen and Kelly Olynyk, who are just as happy to play 30 feet from the basket as they are right next to it. So that's going to be a huge opportunity for any opposing centers right now against the Jazz, who are 30th in defensive rebounding percentage. They are 30th in points allowed in the paint, which is obviously where Jarrett Allen is scoring all of his points. And Utah on the road, just a really bad defensive rating, 117.6. So I mean, look, they're still scoring on the road. Are the Jazz? There's going to be plenty of points scored. There's going to be plenty of shots put up, and that's why we really like the rebounds for Jarrett Allen. 10.5 is plus money on FanDuel at plus 108 for him to get 11 boards. My favorite reasoning there is if you look at Jarrett Allen at home this season, 13 games played, 14 points and 11.5 boards at home that he's averaging in those 13 games, which is about 2 or 3 more boards than he averages on the road as well, where their defense is not quite as good. So more of those shots are probably going in on the road when you play against the Cavs. But when you're at home, this is the best defensive team in the league at home. Maybe not as good as Milwaukee at times, but I don't know. I would still probably put this defense up against anyone in the league, and the fact that there's going to be plenty of rebounds available, I think, for him tonight would be the reason I just go ahead and take the rebounds and get him to get 11 boards, get your plus money. Don't really need to worry about the points on this one as much.
Yeah, I mean, interesting you bring up Milwaukee because they just held Utah to 97 points and abysmal field goal percentage. And yeah, by the numbers, Cleveland is the best defense in the league at home. Anywhere you slice it, they have the best rating. So I expect Utah to, again, build a house of bricks here on the road. And Allen, a monster rebounder to get double-digit boards for sure. Maybe they play Walker Kessler more to match up with him. Be interested in that. But, I think he's still going to get his defensive rebounds, and Utah is not crashing the glass and taking those away from you.
Yeah, no, and for whatever reason, I'm not as familiar with the Jazz as maybe I could be to come up with this. But Walker Kessler's still not getting minutes for some reason. I mean, he's getting the 18 to 20 and a lot of people are calling for him to get like 25 to 30. We'll see if that's the case tonight, where they definitely need some more interior presence. But I'm still perfectly fine with Jarrett Allen getting his average total of rebounds at home, which is closer to 12 than it even is 11. But that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Go ahead and like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along with us each and every weekday this regular season. And until we see you next, happy betting.